Welcome to Slay the Gatekeeper. I'm your host, Courtney Johnson, and I am here to un-gatekeep the gatekept. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy. Well, Whitney, welcome to Slay the Gatekeeper. I am so happy you're here. And when our mutual friend Christy introduced us, you as the queen of crypto, I was just so excited to have this conversation because crypto is something that I don't know much about, and I don't think my audience knows much about either. And I think there's so much information that it's really hard to separate the signal from the noise.
Yes. And Courtney, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited about the timing in particular because crypto, it's one thing that there's so much information that people can feel so overwhelmed with. So truly let's slay the gatekeeper there. And also timing, I find one of the biggest challenges, especially with women, with us being so emotional and so excited, is a lot of times women will get in too late. And I'm like, this is the timing, this is the window before all the excitement starts to build up to really be focusing your attention around it. So I'm super excited to have a conversation around this now.
Beautiful. Okay, well, let's just dive into the cheat codes. So, first cheat code is that the financial world is actively being upgraded and people are missing this. What are people missing and what do we need to understand?
Okay, so first off, can I give a little context around
Of
myself?
course.
Okay, great. So for anyone who doesn't know me, hi, I'm Whitney. I originally, I'll give a little backstory to myself, is I originally got into crypto. Okay, so right now I'm 31. I was someone who I formerly had a engineering career degree, was in the ground, in the construction field. And I looked around and I was like, this life and this trajectory that I'm heading down is not filled with freedom. And freedom is one of my very strong core values. So I was like, I can't continue down life this way. This was back 2020, January 2020. And so I gave my notice in. I left that engineering career. I left Washington, D.C. And I was like, I'm going to go on the adventure to go figure out what is in store for me next. And so I did the only logical thing that made sense, which was I left the career. I hopped on a one-way flight over to Bali. And I was planning on being there for 4 weeks. I ended up staying abroad for 2.5 years, and in that time, I ended up meeting a guy who spoke to me about crypto and the financial markets in a way that got my attention. I understood how much the financial markets and everything, this was the go time. There's a big changing going on in the financial institutions and the markets, and the more that we can start to see it as opportunity and as innovation and where the world is shifting to, and you position your money and your energy and your attention that way, we get to win big time. So I share this because if finance and crypto is something that you have not looked for in the past, I was similarly in that position 5 years ago. And I ended up personally, my story was I pulled out my retirement fund and I said, I'm going to bet on myself.
Mhm.
I'm gonna redefine what this path looks like for me. And I ended up watching my retirement fund grow from 25K to over $500,000 within 9 months, all thanks to crypto and all thanks to taking this time period really seriously for myself to grow exponentially. And then I got to buy myself a whole bundle of time to travel the world and improve my relationships with my family and spend more quality time. And anyways, I've now built a life that I love. So just want to drop that in for anyone who is also a freedom seeking lady out there.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing your story. So, yeah, the time that we're in is opportunity rich. Why is this time so opportunity rich?
Yes. Okay. So, opportunity rich why now is because so this is where I think being a woman, we just
Mhm.
get it is we get patterns, we get cycles. We all have
Mhm.
our 28-day moon cycle. We get it. And so we're also really good at spotting patterns and trends. And in the crypto market, in the financial markets, it's all about patterns. It's cycles. And so the crypto market historically has this 4-year crypto market cycle where
Mhm.
things are down. It's called bear markets when prices are low and no one wants to look at crypto and everyone's like, crypto's dead. And then it comes back up into bull markets, which is what happened for me back from 2020 to 2021. Bull markets where many millionaires are made in the crypto world. And so we're in this time period right now with 2024 to 2025. So 2025, very much that year, maybe a little into 2026, but it's this is the time and the window to be able to take a look at and understand history rhymes. And we're
Mhm.
in this season again where like the world is collectively heating up. We have the president who has a crypto protocol, who's
Mhm.
buying crypto. We have countries that are adopting crypto. Like there's this window of adoption where it's like, okay, crypto is not dead. It's like a
Mhm.
full term thing. And this is very much the season to harvest on that end.
Mhm. And when you're saying crypto, like I know that there's a lot of different classes of crypto, but what do you mean by that? Is that like Bitcoin? Is that like we need to understand these like other smaller coins? Is that yeah, what specifically?
So yes, Bitcoin is crypto. And also within other like there's millions of different cryptos out there these days, and anyone can make a crypto right now. So it's very important to figure out what's actually treasure versus trash and be
Mhm.
able to vet and understand what's behind the scenes. But I also like to ask like for everyone, it's like if you want to invest in crypto, like what are your wealth goals?
Mm, mhm.
So a lot of people coming in may be like, "Oh, I'll just buy Bitcoin." And it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, Bitcoin's great, like really great for a long-term hold. But also if you're someone like for me who got a 22x within 1 year, that's something that you're obviously not going to be able to get from Bitcoin because it's older.
Mhm.
And so people want to know like what are the cryptos that you can invest in today that would have been like investing in Bitcoin like back in 2010.
Mhm.
And so that's where like altcoin season, that's the stuff that I really love is like the exponentiality and seeing like a lot of cryptos as technology. So like if anyone doesn't know, like just see crypto as this I use this analogy with you before around like the internet
Mhm.
is like the internet is not just the internet. Like it's search engines like Google. It's social media sites, it's domain holders, it's like all of these other things that niches that live within the internet. And the same thing's happening within crypto, where we have this whole ecosystem, and you're like, hey, what would it have been like if I invested in the early days of the internet?
Mhm.
We're in this boom right now. It's called like the Web3 boom, where there's all this technology, all of the decentralized world, and you can invest in different blockchains, different coins that have not been adopted by institutions, by countries, by companies, by high net worth individuals, and we get to invest in the early days.
Mhm. What like backs these coins? I know with like crypto, it's actually like or with Bitcoin, it's actually like there's energy centers, whatever. I used to date a guy that like mined Bitcoin, so I understand that. Are the other coins like and currency like backed by something?
Ooh, okay, so let's actually get a little into this. Okay, so like let's zoom back. Like the US dollar.
Yeah,
What is the US dollar backed by?
like literally, actually nothing but vibes, I guess.
Five. It's like trust in the US government.
Yeah.
We're like, we trust that you're not gonna print dollars into oblivion and our dollars are gonna be worth nothing.
Yes.
We trust that in the globe, everyone's gonna respect our name and our brand being America and the US dollar, and the global reserve. And so, like, we trust you guys. Like, it's all our trust, like, what is value in the world very much goes back to, like, what do we trust and what is
Mhm.
backing this? So I even like to take a look at the US dollar and fiat currencies to just be like, okay, so the trust is in the governments, and we're flipping the switch to then say within each crypto, the value that's created is from what people deem as valuable in the world, like to
Mhm.
themselves. Um, and so the cool thing that has happened, like particularly around Bitcoin, we can see this, and there's a lot beyond this. Um, is Bitcoin has been adopted by a lot of companies, like, uh, people are now holding I mean, it companies are now holding Bitcoin on their books. Um, financial advisors are now no longer advising 1%, but they're advising anywhere from 2 to 3%. Like, there's just this thing where people are now saying this stuff is valuable, and, also when we had the market recently drop off, a lot of stocks lost value, but then crypto actually went up.
Mhm.
Um, so I think value, when we're taking a look at things, it's really goes back to what and who deems this as valuable and what do we trust in.
Mhm. Okay, interesting. I always say that like money is fake, and so what you're saying is like, yeah, it all kind of do be fake, but like not really. Obviously, it's like economics is you're right, based on trust, based on brand, based on relationship, based on reputation, like based on all these things. But in general, you're saying it mimics other currency where actually it's based on these social factors instead of concrete factors. Okay.
Yeah, and I find when, like, women get this too and we can see it, it's like, how do we become the trendsetter?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it's all about vibes too, it's kind of like, who trusts this? Why would price go up? Like, I love to see the social side of things behind it. Like, my engineering brain loves seeing, like, things as networks, and I'm like, I can see, like, why number would go up, but I can also see where, like, attention and eyeballs go up for something to go more viral. It's just a question of, are we buying something before it's gone up in that period? And, I personally teach, like, all my ladies, I didn't mention that, but I have, like, a community and an education thing called Queen of Millions, where we have, like, 200 ladies and all across the globe who are all learning to speak this language and then research and become confident and exponentially grow their money as well. So it's just a matter of, like, training your mind to be like, "How do I vet these projects to understand where they're going in the future?"
I just want to say I really love your perspective on that. And I just think that's an incredible perspective of instead of saying, buy this, do this, here's like exactly what you should do. You're not being prescriptive necessarily, although I'm sure you give suggestions, but you're saying, here's how to think about it. Here's how to think about it in the way that's going to serve you and your personal goals. I really resonate with that.
Yes. Yes. And you know, the crazy thing is like I feel like you could resonate with this too of like, especially in a world right now where we're like so inundated with so much information, it's like the independent thinking movement. I find is like
Mhm.
it's a really soft, like soft power, soft girl energy, but like really like rich. And when I came to crypto, this was the first place where I really learned to become an independent thinker to,
Mm-hmm.
like, question things and be like, "Wait, I'm curious." Like, especially I would step into all these conferences or meetups with all these bros who would be like, "It's this or that," or they would, like, poo-poo my ideas around investing, and I'd be like I would just flip it back with, like, a curiosity and a question for them. And they would either be like, "Oh, I don't know," or like, "Ah, I got to hear X, Y, and Z," and I was like, "I can see how you think, and also I'm independently thinking from you, and this is where I still sit and still stand."
So I think that's really important what you bring up because I do think that in anything, any investing, anything money, but really anything, you can get into a trap where it's like, I'm following exactly everything this person says as biblical and as a prescription. And I am here to say that is not going to work in any area of your life, not your relationships, not your finances, not your marketing, not your business, nothing. You have to take suggestions from people and mental models, but when it comes down to it, think for your fucking self. And I just again appreciate your perspective on that, and I appreciate that you're really teaching from that of like helping people with the mental models of how to think about things rather than just saying, because if somebody is telling you, like for example, let's say investing in the stock market, if somebody is telling you pay me 5 grand to join my community and you have to invest in this and follow this exact formula that's guaranteed, that is probably not going to work. If it is, these are my suggestions, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm thinking about it, I suggest these 3 things and you can think for yourself, that is a fucking green flag. You know that feeling when nobody really gets what you're going through, when you're surrounded by all of these people, but you're somehow still feel alone? I lived that reality for years until I discovered the power of healing and community. Reinvigorate and Restore is a luxury 6-day retreat in Cape Town designed specifically for women who are ready to move beyond survival mode to begin living your best life truly and authentically. Imagine 6 days in Cape Town, April 14th through 19th, by the way, in a luxurious villa where everything is designed for your restoration. Morning yoga overlooking the mountains, sound healing sessions, authentic connection with people who understand your journey without explanation. Imagine 6 days with people who truly get it, who see you, hear you, and walk alongside you in your healing journey. Time is limited, so book your spot for April. Again, the retreat is April 14th through 19th, and you can visit survivorsriseretreat.com to book a call with Paula to learn more. Your people are waiting for you. Nexus Point is a best in class outsourcing company that helps business owners and entrepreneurs scale efficiently and profitably by leveraging the global talent pool. Founded by entrepreneurs like yourselves, Nexus Point uses its vast infrastructure to find, hire, and train best in class talent from around the globe. At just 20% of the cost of hiring locally, Nexus Point will provide you with pre vetted talent with college degrees and at least 3 years of work experience, often with US based business owners. From executive assistants to social media managers, customer service reps, data entry and research analysts, and other back office functions, Nexus Point can help take you and your business to the next most profitable level yet. Use the special link or mention Slay the Gatekeeper and have the $500 search fee completely waived. Delegation is so important, but it can be so hard to find the right talent. So I highly recommend checking out Nexus Point. Again, you can book a call at go.nexuspt.io/Courtney Johnson or visit the link in the show notes. Today's episode is sponsored by my Sunrise Content Club. I created Sunrise Content Club because I really desired accountability in my content creation. How it works is we meet on Zoom every single weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. We get on the Zoom, we play some fun music, we have a little mindful moment, and then I give you a content prompt. And we spend about 45 minutes working on this prompt together. In this time, you can ask questions, get feedback on your content. And at the end, we all share our wins and we also share our content that we have created during that time. So we all get an initial boost because we are liking and commenting on each other's posts. There's also a really fun and supportive group chat where you can ask questions, share your content, get accountability. The Sunrise Content Club is an incredible way to stay consistent in your content creation and have community support. It is especially helpful with folks with ADHD who find value in body doubling. For a very limited time, you can join the Sunrise Content Club for just $99 a month. This is a very special limited time founders rate, and I am so excited to see you guys there. Join the Sunrise Content Club today.
Yeah. And okay, so in the crypto world, a lot of the crypto bros, like their business models are like, hey, like come on into our group and I'll like tell you what to buy and when to sell. And I've even run into I'm here in Austin with you as well. And I've run into plenty of my other guy friends who are into crypto too. And they're like, I'm in this group and that group. And I can even tell that they don't necessarily have the confidence or the conviction around what they're buying and or why. Like they'll come to me and be like, what are you thinking? And it's because they don't have a personal conviction and belief around what they're investing in and why. And instead, they're just following everyone else's picks. And so I very much in this space where I'm like, hey, ladies, come on in. Let's deepen with what your plan is for the short term. But then I think even women as we're building, I think women are just so much more long-term minded where we're we don't want to just have the short-term plan, but we also want to build out the mature mindset as an investor of okay, the crypto market's here right now. How do we seize the opportunity in the next 9 months, 12 months? And then when wealth goes up, when money goes up, how do we preserve that wealth and rotate that in and have time work for us? To be hey, maybe your goal is to get more cash. Maybe it is to get that home. Maybe it's to get more Bitcoin. Whatever that plan is, I want you to love the shit out of your investing plan. And that's where having a really strong conviction really goes hand in hand to be I know my plan, I can ask questions, and I can still go back to me.
Yeah. Dude, that's amazing. This is actually a unique perspective that I have not heard at all. So I think that's so cool. Which I think brings us to our next cheat code, which is financial confidence is built, not bought. You want to align your focus with your life goals. Tell me more.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, my little story. So when I was sitting in back in 2021, my crypto portfolio had gone to over $500,000. I'm laying in my villa Bali in Bali, and I'm looking up at everything, and I'm just oh, this is so great. And I still felt this deep void within myself of I didn't feel fulfilled. I was it's one thing that money goes up, but it's a different thing of feeling really confident of navigating things or where things go ahead. And it's from this that I really got that statement of confidence is built, not bought, where even once the number goes up, then that means you suddenly have more economic energy, you have more power. You then, as an individual, have to feel confident with the moves you want to make. So just because price goes up, just because you have more money doesn't mean you're free because the world revolves around money.
Mhm.
It's about feeling really comfortable and confident within yourself to be like, now that there's more money, I actually trust in myself that I can be a good steward of this wealth. Like, more
Mm.
people are going to want my attention. More people are going to maybe want my money. Do I know who I am, what my boundaries are, what I'm here for, what I want to create in the world? And
Mhm.
this is where I'm like, the confidence goes hand in hand of like the more that you play in the space and you understand what's going on in the world, your why really gets to deepen so that you don't have to feel necessarily shakeable with like more money equals like, who am I?
Mhm.
So yeah, I very much spent the period of like when crypto money came for me. I then got really curious to be like, who am I like on a deeper soul level and how can I fall more in love with myself? And so money bought me that time and space. But
Mm.
that's where I think for women, I was like, remember your confidence is built. You can make mistakes and like you're learning as you play.
Mhm. Yeah, is that why you created the community, or is that what it came out of like a deeper desire to give and steward?
Yeah, totally. I when I was so I hired a mentor when I first got started, and I moved in with him, so I was eat, sleep, breathe crypto, all the whole 9 yards. And I would go off to meetups in Bali at the time, which is still a pretty big crypto community. And as I would go off, like I was one of the very few women in the space.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to find friends. I wanted to find friends who saw crypto through like a spiritual lens, like there was a greater why of what they're doing and there was a consciousness to it. And I couldn't find it.
Mhm.
And so when my crypto portfolio went up, I actually felt super alone. And I didn't make the best decisions when it was at the top too. So like I lost I lost six figures. I definitely made six figures, but I lost six figures and that hit my confidence around my relationship to money.
Mhm.
So as an investor and someone who's playing exponentially, this is where I'm like, it's a deep need for us to be in spaces with people who have those similar values so that we can air out those emotions, we can air out those thoughts, we can play out possibilities together. And honestly, I just couldn't find a space with women who were like me and who aligned their values and their energy and their money to the same thing. Like I felt like I was dreaming too big.
Mm.
And it's a terrible feeling when you're like, I'm the biggest dreamer in the room.
Mhm. Yeah. That's amazing. So tell me more about like the community and what's in the community. Is this like calls? Is this like chats? Is this meetups? What does it look like?
It's literally everything that I wanted, that I needed,
Yeah.
and I just keep adding to it. But, right now it's mostly virtual. I do a lot of things here in Austin. I've been bringing a lot of women together.
Mhm.
But it is so Queen of Millions is it has like a baseline education of like crypto 101 education where it's like build out your foundation, relate to your investments, build out your conviction, understand what is blockchain in the whole 9 yards, and then also how to navigate the tech. Because like people have lost money, there's scams. I help out with security, like
Mhm.
the whole 9 yards on that front. And then we have a school community where people can ask questions and interact and engage, and I'm sharing information. I have a team of other people that are helping on that front, and then we have weekly calls with other guest speakers as well. So it's like a really thorough education space. We have a macroeconomist, like it's the whole 9 yards just to really help you stay in the know and make the sharpest investment decisions on your end. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Mhm. Yeah, we have another cheat code that's like start with your four cores. What are the four chords?
Oh, yeah.
Cores.
So crypto, yes, there's a lot of pieces to it, but I really love to simplify it in terms of four core pieces. So um, the one is obviously what coins you buy. And this is where I'd mentioned earlier of like ask yourself, what are your wealth goals? Like unapologetically own them. If it's
Mhm.
like you want to, some people say they're like, I want to pull a Whitney and I want to go 20x. I was like, okay, if that's the case, like own it.
Mhm.
And also ask yourself, is that in check with your risk goals as well? Like, are you
Mhm.
okay to go down? Because if you want to go up, you may have to ride some downs. So one, what coins you buy will be dictated off of your goals. Two is when you buy. Three, when you sell. So both are time based. And then last but not least is those systems and security.
Mhm.
So I bring that up because once you're like sold on crypto, I feel like people can get really lost or they just start to skip steps. And it's really like checking and vetting through to make sure that you're buying at the right time you have your plan to exit, but you're also buying the right coins and you're setting yourself up for success with security wise.
Hmm. What do you feel like the future is? I mean, if we look like 50 years from now when we're all retired, what does that look like?
It's like, how will we be retired? Like, are we gonna be retired off of crypto?
I guess so.
I actually like to say that I think our grandparents, or my grandparents' era, it was to like invest in real estate and retire themselves that way. And then, or like with pensions. And then I think our age group is very much going to be retiring with Bitcoin
Hmm.
or with crypto. I think this is the greatest wealth transfer that's going on in the world, where like financial systems are literally transitioning from like the old to the new.
Hmm.
And even for just like context for anyone else too, like the shift of the old to the new is like the old financial system is run by like humans, like
Hmm.
the bank tellers and the accountants and like people making decisions. But the gift around crypto is that it's the decentralized future. The money systems are actually automated so that it's open 24/7. It's not just open during bank hours. Um, it knows no borders. Like anyone can send money and you don't have to ask permission from a bank to be able to swipe your card or take your money out.
Hmm.
So we're very much in this shifting period. And this is where I think in the future, like what we're seeing, like we can't really say 50 years, but I mean 50 years, I think it's just you're not even going to realize what is crypto because everything is just going to be.
Hmm.
And so it's not just like we don't know how many times we like touch our phone and like go on to the internet.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be that time period where like the whole world will have adoption. I think really this time in the next like 3 years, there's a lot of opportunity. The next 3 to 5 years is a lot of opportunity, but it's really leaning into those hot years.
Yeah. This is so helpful. Genuinely, like I feel like in this conversation I've gone from like actually I don't know what the fuck is going on to I like feel your energy, I feel your authenticity and your story and I just really appreciate your approach. And I'm curious is there any other cheat codes or any other advice that you want to leave our listeners?
Um, I mean, there's so much.
So,
Okay, so yeah, one big piece is altcoin season. Have you heard of altcoin season?
no.
Okay. Oh wait, there's a few. Actually, okay, one other thing before we get into altcoin season. My question for you is, economically, do you feel like there's a lot of uncertainty right now?
I honestly never watched the news and I didn't even know we were in a recession until like somebody told me 2 days ago. So I have no idea because I stay out of it.
Oh, well, I don't necessarily know if we're in a recession.
I don't know. Somebody was like, "Courtney, how do you deal with the stress of running a business during a recession?" And I said, "I had no idea we were in a recession. So I don't fucking know how I deal with it." Anyways, I purposely stay disconnected. So yeah, I genuinely don't know.
Okay, cool. So, the reason I ask is 'cause I think there's still a good amount of uncertainty in the world where some people are
Mhm.
like, ah, I'm nervous to take risk
Mhm.
and nervous to invest further into the crypto world. Um, but the big thing, I'm like, right now we have like the perfect landscape where I was like back in 2020 when I was like, it was like the fall of 2020 when I like went full into crypto. We're at a very similar time period and I can get into like the nerdy elements of it. I get into some of that stuff in other videos on my page, but around like the economic landscape. So it's like it's one thing. So I spoke about time where it's like we want to make sure we're buying at the right time. And there's a whole bundle of data that you can take a look at, but like the macroeconomic, what's going on in the globe, the health of the economy dramatically matters as to what will happen in the crypto world.
Mhm.
So, just really want to point out for people who feel a lot of fear at this time, the data and the health and the economy just looks so good for crypto with interest rates, with possibly printing dollars, with just the global stuff. And even recently, this week around tariffs with China and the US, like so much has softened. So, really just want to like push and nudge if there's any uncertainty coming up, like the landscape is like really perfect for crypto. Um, and then getting into it with altcoin season. So you can buy Bitcoin and that's fine. But if you want more of the exponential gains, that's when you're buying things that are not Bitcoin.
Mhm.
And this is where just figuring out what you buy matters. But the altcoin season is when things go into really exponential mode. And there's been a lot of data signaling that we're getting really towards that point. Maybe happening sooner than we think. It may also be happening in the fall, but either way, if that's something on your heart and mind, it's just a thing and an urgency little element of being like, don't sleep on it. These opportunity windows will close, and you'll just be having to buy your cryptos at a higher rate.
Mm-hmm. That's super helpful. Well, I'm sure that my audience, they can both follow you to learn more and plug into your community to get more around like your framework, how you're thinking about this, the moves that you're making. So where can people find you? How can they work with you, Whitney?
So you can find me on Instagram, and please go say hi if you have enjoyed any of this. My Instagram name is at whitney.magic.crypto. And then my website is called Queen of Millions, queenofmillions.com. And for anyone who also, for a gift for your listeners as well, is I am giving you guys $100 off if you would like to join. Yeah, so you can use Slay 100 at checkout, and I got you, and I would love to see you inside.
Love, so fun. I'm gonna pop in as well and dive deep. I'm excited.
Sweet.
Well, thank you so much, Whitney. It was a pleasure to have you, and y'all go check out Whitney's stuff. Okay, y'all, if you liked this episode, you would love my Patreon, okay? You get exclusive access to me, exclusive content, tons of other resources, and a lot of juicy shit, okay? So I hope to see you on my Patreon.